Hello and welcome to the final bonus episode of the MUNPR Politics Podcast. I mentioned it in episodes 4 and 5, but I want to reiterate that beyond this point is exclusively an old man yapping. If you are interested in that, stay tuned, but if not, feel free to close the video now. I also cannot emphasize enough that these endorsements are solely a reflection of who I think is best for the job and best able to fill the needs of the club in each position. I have no ill will against any candidate for any office, and I consider all of them my friends, many of them my close friends. I'm also open to having my opinion changed based on the speeches and Q&A sections for almost all of these races. Without any further ado, I'll get right into it. I obviously will be voting to confirm Ethan Lindsay as Secretary General. Not only is he the best qualified candidate for the job, as far as I'm concerned, he is the only qualified candidate for the job, and I have absolutely no idea who JR would put up as his replacement if he was rejected, but if the polls are any indication, he will win by a sizable majority. As for the amendments, I will be voting to ratify both, which should not come as a surprise since I wrote both of them. I explained my reasoning for writing both of these amendments in episode 3 if you're interested, and I'm sure I'll end up giving one of the pro speeches for them at the meeting tonight anyway. For the comms director race, I have decided to back Mary Helen Scow. I think Reagan would make a fine communications director, and she certainly could still win me over at the meeting tonight. But based off of my interview with Mary Helen and the absolutely phenomenal work she has put into her mock-up Instagram page, I feel that she's the best candidate for the job. She's clearly passionate about the job, as this is her second time running for it, and I feel confident that in this instance, second try is indeed the charm. For membership chair, after a long, arduous, strenuous, time-consuming, difficult, nail-biting, tough deliberation, I have decided to vote for Avery Sinclair. I had already planned to endorse Avery before Lauren dropped out and made her the only candidate, so I'll still share why I think she will do a good job. But whether you agree with me or not, she's going to be the next membership chair. I think that the most important quality for any exec member is passion for the club, which Avery clearly has, and second to that is being fun and sociable, and I would challenge you to find a single person in this club who would say that Avery Sinclair is not fun and sociable. For vice president, I plan to vote for Nathaniel Barnett. I nominated him for a reason, and I think he is a far and away the best person in the club for the job, and I think whether you feel I've done a great or terrible job as vice president, you should support him as my successor. If you think I've done well, I can assure you that Nathaniel will do even better, because he is at least as strong a delegate as me, if not stronger, and he is certainly a better teacher. And if you think I've done a terrible job, well, I can still promise you that he will do better. I think Will and Zane would both make good vice presidents, but I am certain that Nathaniel will be a great vice president. I've gone back and forth on who to support for president. I'm proud to say I was the founding member of the Ollie McQueen for President Club back in week 1. But in weeks 2 and 3, I began to reconsider as Tristan Fields' plans for the office and his interview made me think that he may indeed be the best candidate for the job. I do not think the club has anything to worry about no matter who is elected president, whether it be Tristan, Ollie, or Alex, but ultimately I have decided to vote for Ollie McQueen. There are several reasons for this, but chief among them is that I think she is the kind of leader that the club needs right now. This year, a full 60% of the executive board was made up of upperclassmen, including all 4 of the most powerful positions on exec, despite the fact that upperclassmen make up less than half of this club. I think younger leadership that better reflects the club's shifting demographics is desperately needed, and while none of the 3 candidates would be seniors next year, I think Ollie represents a much-needed shift in other ways as well. To point out the elephant in the room, this club has long had and earned a reputation as a sausage fest, and believe it or not, this is actually the most gender diverse the club has ever been. UTK-MUN has existed in its current iteration for 9 years, and in that time we have had 8 presidents, 2 of which were women, 6 vice presidents, 1 of which was a woman, and 9 Volmon secretaries general, 1 of which has been a woman. It's also worth noting that one of the 2 female presidents is also the only ever female vice president. They're the same person. Of the 71 delegate slots we had this year, 51 of them were filled by men, and in my 8 semesters in this club, the only time women made up 50% of exec was for a 3-month period last fall, and to my knowledge, there has never been an executive board in the entire history of this club that was not at least 50% male. Our executive board last semester was 77% male in the fall, and after Ollie's election, it remained 70% male. If we want to fix our reputation and reality as a sausage fest, we have to put more women in positions of authority on exec, especially the most prominent positions, not just as secretary or communications director. Again, I have nothing against Tristan or Alex, and I think either of them would do a fine job as president. But I think Ollie is the best candidate to reflect and represent the changing demographics of the club and to continue pushing that change in the right direction. As someone who has served on exec with her since she was first elected first-year outreach coordinator last semester, I can testify that she is extraordinarily competent and capable, and I firmly believe that the experience she has gained in this role on exec over the last semester has adequately prepared her for the job of president, even though she may not have the same amount of MUN experience as her opponents. All this to say, while I do not believe there are any bad candidates for presidents this year, I do believe that there is one candidate who has proven that they are capable of leading the club for the next year above all others, and that candidate is Ollie McQueen. And that's that. I hope that you do not hold it against me personally if I endorsed your opponent. I truly do mean it when I say I do not have any ill will towards any of you, but I do believe, at least as of right now, that each candidate I endorse is the best candidate for their respective position. I made these endorsements because I believe that the club will be in a demonstrably better state next year if they are the winners of this election. But if they lose, I know the club will still survive and thrive, and I look forward to seeing the next executive board in action, whoever may be on it. This has been an editorial yap session by Caleb Lance. Thanks for listening.